on Monday, October 28th, 2024. We have one item on the agenda today, and it's under new business. Consider the request from Verizon Wireless for temporary deployment of cell on wheels at Mount Snow Resort, Carinthia Lodge lot. So I'd like to turn it over to Chip.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
First, thank you very, very much, folks, for making time for the special meeting this morning. If there's any blame to be placed, it's on me. I had assumed, and I shouldn't use that word, but I did, that the permit last year would have extended to temporary use of a cow. I suppose I shouldn't say in perpetuity, but for this winter. So thank you for your time. I'll try to be brief. The purpose of the cow is to provide supplemental coverage to the resorts as was the effort last year. Unfortunately, as many of you probably know, the cow did not perform as we had intended. Its location on Snow Lake Road, I'm told, was too low, far and away to service either the main lodge or Carinthia. And so the goal this year was to find a new location, either at Carinthia or the main lodge, so that the cow could pick up directly the traffic or the users that are at either location. So we worked with Mount Snow. They said there's no place anywhere at the main lodge area where they could sacrifice ground space for us to park the cow there. However, we did find a spot at Carinthia. And again, one of the major contingencies here from Mount Snow was that the cow could not take up any parking spaces. And so they gave us about a 20-foot by 40-foot ground space on the back side of the parking lot, near where, if you folks are familiar with the Carinthia side, near where the groomers park, so that we could park the cow there. And that space is sufficient for us. My radio frequency design engineer believes that will serve much better being at Carinthia. So it's not only going to it's only going to provide service not just to the people who are at the lodge itself, but also those who are in the townhouses and condos adjacent to that. And so the idea here is that it will pick up some of the load that the macro site up on the mountain is being faced with, and then the macro site will be able to do a better job providing coverage to the main lodge. I think there's a lot of ticketing and other uses for phones more than just the vanity of them. So again, it was a concerted effort between Mount Snow and us to find that location. Power and fiber are readily available. Those are the only two utilities that we need. And for any avoidance of doubt, there will be no ground excavation. There's no ground disturbance with the deployment of a cow. Internal policy matter. If there were any need to disturb soil, Verizon in and of itself would require that it ran its own NEPA screening, even just to put a shovel in the ground. So in order for the cow deployments to be successful, we can't touch the soil. And so that was the case last year at Snow Lake Road, and of course the same for Carinthia as well. So again, power, fiber readily available. We won't take up any parking, and we are certainly out of the way of the groomers coming and going, the ingress and egress of the machines. So unlike last year, it'd be the same truck, but unlike last year, the cow mast will only need to be raised to about 25, 26 feet. Last year, we were pushing almost 50 feet, I believe. Again, because we're at a higher ground elevation, we're closer to the people who are using the service. It doesn't need to be as tall. So again, I think 26 is the overall appurtenance height, I believe. So almost half the height to get the job done. So that was a quick and dirty kind of summary of the proposal at Carinthia. Happy to answer questions from you folks.
Yes. Edie?
Hi, this is Edie Masson. I own property adjacent to that parking lot. Because I'm not clear where the is the cow a cell tower? You call it a cow?
Yeah, COW is an acronym for Cell on Wheels. So it's a temporary structure, temporary truck.
Yeah.
And
So is it going to be in the north And obviously we can't see a map because we can't see you. But just out of question, is there a map that will be available in the town offices or wherever? I mean, I'm not.
Sure. In fact, I'm happy to, Jeanette, am I able to share my screen with you folks? If I can share my screen, I can show the site plan.
Okay, Jeanette, the same, there you go.
Okay, let me scroll back up here. I'm going to zoom in. This is the aerial view of the Carinthia Lodge side, and I'll zoom in a bit to give you a little better perspective. It's a little tough to see at this scale. All right, so
I just see the agenda. Why do I not?
Can you folks see the site plan?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't see it. I have on my screen an agenda. No, not an agenda. I guess it's, well, okay. It's a meeting from October 28th. That sounds
Scroll
today.
down.
Yeah, I think it's my screen that, okay.
There, okay, thank you.
Oh, yep, I see. Participants can now see my screen. I see that there. Okay. All right. So my cursor is hovering over the Carinthia Lodge here, circling over that. Can you folks see that? Okay. All right. So Carinthia Road. We bear right to go into the main parking lot, lower lot here, as I'm scrolling up and down, upper lot here. And then there's an existing overhead aerial utility line here. And the cow location is just behind the utility line here. This black rectangle. For those of you who know the winter configuration of Mount Snow, the groomers park in this area here. So we'll be more or less adjacent to them here.
That's where Grommet is, correct? Is that like the lift that is a little bit north of where the
right here, I think
Yes.
you're talking about. Is
Yes.
that right? Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, so we're up and away from that. I'm gonna call it a beginner area. Is that a magic carpet? Is that what that lift is there?
Yes.
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 Okay, yeah, so we're up and out of that. So that, again, of course, one of Mount Snow's obvious concerns where we couldn't be in that sloped area. So,
Any other questions?
Okay, thank you. No, that makes it clear.
sure.
And Jeanette can send you these maps, Edie, if you want
Yeah.
them. We
Oh,
have
yeah.
them.
Okay.
Any more comments, questions, anything about the cow on wheels? Cell on wheels? All right, somebody want to make a motion to approve this? What?
I make a motion that we approve the positioning of the cow by Carinthia, the 20 by 40 placement to the side of the beginner's lift.
Is there a second?
Second.
Anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We don't have any other business. Thank you, Chip. Thank you, everybody who came.
Sure, thank you again, folks. I appreciate it very much.
And I'd like to adjourn the meeting at 9:09 a.m.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Bye.